Again, Dolan, a hyper-aggressive player, coming out with his Dolan builds, and we saw a lot of that last night. We saw a lot of aggression and just nonsense in a way. It was beautiful. With mixed success, but here we go. We're getting into a fresh best of 3, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Hardlead, we have the American Terran player, the red Terran, representing the CranKy Ducklings. He's one of our own. It is Dolan. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the French Protoss player, the blue Protoss, representing the Platinum Heroes. It is DnS. Let's go. And let's go. Dolan with a cheeky SCV looking to go for a proxy. And there it is. The proxy racks is upon us. And I imagine there's going to be much more than just a proxy racks here towards the bottom left. Probe Scout is coming in. Does confirm that the racks is missing. Now the racks could be further back in the main, so we are going to be checking. Could be in the main, could be at the natural, could be at the third base location. It is not uncommon for Terran players to just hide their first racks on their side of the map, but we can see that this is that much more committed. Here we go. So proxy racks is on the way. Now I'm curious if it's just going to be a singular racks. Like, this is pretty far out. This is here in the bottom left hand corner. Like, do we throw down a factory behind this for like a proxy 111 or just a singular racks? I'm curious. Yeah, the SV is going to stick around. Reaper is on the way. The probe is on the hunt. We're looking. DnS, he's searching for that racks. Back at home, looks like we're going to have a factory here at home. And do we have a proxy factory across the map? Do we go for the double factory? I'm ready for it. Gibch. Probe is still scouring the map here, looking for that racks. Back at home, we're going for a Zealot first. DnS, he's respecting this. Yeah, only one Reaper. I'm feeling it. Yep, there we go. Let's go. This is what I've been waiting for. This is what we saw before. This is what we've seen against Trigger, what we've seen against Max Packs. Dolan going for the signature Dolan build. It's a two factory, one base all in. There we go. Second factory is on the way. First factory is here back at home. Now, there are two different variations. We saw this last night against Cyril. Dolan did this against Cyril where he went Mass Cyclone. There's also a Hellbat variation where you throw down an armory and you go Mass Hellion against Protoss. We've seen Dolan whip this out and succeed with this, and I want to believe that we're going to see that again, but we'll see. So far, we have one Hellion on the way. Are we going Hellion or are we going Cyclone, as we should be seeing an add-on swap here? Let's go. And yeah, it's going to be Cyclones. Okay. We do have 3 Cyclones at a time. So we saw this last night, as we mentioned before. We saw this last night against Cyril. And it almost worked, but Cyril, he was so good at scouting and confirming what was coming. If you remember, Cyril was able to confirm that it was a one base all-in with his Overlord scouts and recognize that it was, of course, a proxy of some kind. As Zealot is going to be cleaned up. Back at home, DnS is preparing. Again, going for a Stargate response. Oh, that's going to be a little bit brutal. Stargate not going to be ideal against this, and here we go. We are massing Cyclones, amassing Marines. Again, this is something that Dolan did whip out for the first time in ESL Masters Americas. I think he did this first against Trigger, if I'm not mistaken. Cyclones have arrived. Oh, they do catch an Oracle. Already the Oracle goes down for free. Not a good start for DnS. He has a shield battery, has an overcharge. Only one shield battery, by the way. And there are so many Cyclones. We even pull the boys to repair. Not like this. Not like this, Lappy. The Adepts doing what they can here, but the shield battery overcharge runs out. Another Oracle does arrive. We can maybe focus down one of those Cyclones. We do get one. Well, a trade 1-for-1 is not good here for DnS. Not good enough. We do lose another Adept. Back at home, we have 2 more gates on the way. Warp Gate isn't even done. It just now finishes. GG gets called, and Dolan snowballs out of control, taking game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Let's go. Yeah, as we assumed, it was going to be the double factory all-in here from Dolan. He has whipped it out very consistently here in a lot of these series, whether it's against Protoss or against Zerg. and it can snowball out of control, as we saw. Fun fact, if you're curious about how to hold against this, we saw Trigger. We saw Trigger versus Dolan in ESL Masters Americas, and Trigger was able to recognize what was happening very quickly, and he fully walled off. It was on Oceanborn. It was on Oceanborn. He was able to wall off. He went, instead of going for a Stargate, he went for a Robo into a Fast Immortal. Because he went for a full wall off, he bought a lot of time with the gateways. Went up to 1, went up to 2 Immortals, had Stalkers, and he was able to shut down and defend it. But Trigger is also a lot more used to that build. He's a little more accustomed to it. He's a lot more familiar with Dolan. And here, DnS was woefully underprepared. GG, well played. And with that, we're getting into game number 2. Oof. Again, the ideal, if you're the Terran player in that situation, is for the Protoss to go Stargate. If they go Stargate, like it's perfect. For a 1-base Cyclone all-in. But here we go, we're getting into game number 2, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Alcyone, leading the series 1-0, we have the American Terran player, the Red Terran representing the CranKy Ducklings. It is Dolan. My brain went on autopilot. I don't know why I was going to say Dragon Kaiser Gaming. I don't... He's one of ours. Quack. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the French Protoss player representing the Platinum Heroes. It is DnS. There we go. Also, yes, I saw someone in the chat mention that today, oh, let's go! Another proxy. Another proxy is upon us. But yes, today is Mana's birthday. It's the birthday of a couple of different pro gamers. Probe was technically yesterday. Who else? Mystery Man. Pig Baby, yo, remember, shout out to anyone who remembers Pig Baby, as it is also his birthday today, alongside Mana. Pig Baby, the WCS Premier Champion from 2013, I think? 2013? Maybe 2014? I think it was 2014, actually, if I recall correctly. So long ago. But for now, we do have a Probe Scout coming from DnS. This time it's going to be a different kind of aggression here from Dolan. We have 1 Rax back at home. Everything is looking normal here for the time being. We have a 2nd Rax proxied across the map here towards the top right-hand corner. DnS is none the wiser. Everything is looking normal for the time being, and we are going Marine first. Interesting. Dolan, you have my attention. You do have my attention. Are we going for an add-on? Or are we just going Reaper? We're sticking around. There it is, we're going for the Tech Lab, so Proxy Marauder should be on the horizon. The fact that the SCV is sticking around, I mean, I imagine we're going to be coming in with the Marauder here to reinforce, to help tank some shots. Reactor on the way back at home. CC here, a little bit off center, but we can float it over. So Proxy Marauder should be here on the way for Dolan. There it is, Marauders are on the way. Behind this, another Stargate opener from DnS. Everything looking standard. We're investing into concussive shell. And we'll see if Dolan can get some damage done here. Now, when we move out with a handful of Marauders, we can, of course, threaten the low ground. We can shut down any kind of gateway unit defense. We won't have a lot at home to defend, though. We're going to be banking up Marines. Ideally, we have enough Marines to defend against the Oracle. Assuming it's an Oracle first. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. I think what's also really concerning for me is how far away this is. Like, this is a very out of the way proxy Marauder, so it's going to take that much longer to actually execute. As the Stargate is done, and our first unit of choice is going to be a Phoenix. Okay. A Phoenix first here from DnS. Marauders are amassing. We're going to have 3 of them by the time we move out. Marines as well. And are we going to be sending everything across the map? I'm curious. Because Dolan, he is not making SCVs. He has a natural, yes, but he's hyperfixated here on Marine and Marauder production. And here we go. 3 Marauders are pushing in. The Marines, yeah, we're moving out. So pulling the boys. Pulling a boy. Let's go. This move out is going to be spotted by the Adepts. Going to be keeping their attention here on the front lines. And we do dive on top of that pylon. Pylon is going to be going, the shield battery is going to be going down. The boys are being pulled. We do catch, oh, 1 Adept, just barely. We get 1 Adept. Well, the Oracle cleans up the Marines. Probes are pulled. We will kill some workers. We will kill some of these probes, but we have more shield batteries on the way. We have the Oracle recalled back home as well. Yeah, we can focus down the Marauders. Dolan already losing a lot of momentum here. He does get a couple of probes, but he's still so far behind in the worker count. Getting additional probes though. Getting 9, almost 10. Essentially 10 here. Oof. 11 probes going down, but this army will be cleaned up. And Dolan still struggling economically, still trying to recover. And we were hoping for more damage here. We were hoping that... I imagine Dolan was hoping that he wouldn't have to try to engage in the center of the map, and his Marines would meet up with his Marauders, and then we could snowball. Then we can push into the natural, but DnS was able to run into that army, shut it down. Oracles are moving out, and we have no anti-air. Nothing shoots up. Ay, ay, ay. Dolan, he is so exposed back at home. Okay, we have a couple of Marines coming out. Another Marine goes down. Natural base completely evacuated here. Again, we just don't have enough to contest against this. We are amassing more Marines. And eventually we'll regain control of the natural. Eventually. Maybe. Bunker's not done. Stalkers have arrived. We're trying to resaturate this natural base. We force a cancel on the bunker. More Stalkers are rocking up. And we have enough to break this. Again, no stim. These are vanilla units, vanilla Marines, vanilla Marauders. With concussive shell, I guess, but yeah, not going to be enough. We have one Cyclone here to defend. But this is just becoming far too much damage. More SCVs are going down. Oh, we do pick off one Oracle. We get one. Ay, ay, ay. Behind the scene, this is taking a third base, getting further ahead economically. He's up to 41 probes, working towards Blink, additional gateways. Additional gateways are on the way. And could we even get a kill in the CC? No shots. It's going to be a kill on the natural base. A massive blow there to Dolan. I mean, it was already looking rough. Yeah, GG gets called. There's no regaining control of the natural, and DnS fights back, tying up the series 1-1. GG. A bold execution of a proxy Marauder there from Dolan, but alas, it just wasn't able to really come together. Again, I'm pretty sure he was hoping that he could kind of join up with his reinforcements and snowball out of control and try to break the natural, but his Marines got caught out on the way across the map, and yeah, we were just able to buy enough time, slow down the army, and Dolan just did not have enough firepower. GG, well played. And for the first time in HomeStory Cup, we have a new map. We have Radizet Station for Game 3. Oh no. What am I going to be expecting here? What? Are we going to see like the two-base mech all-in on Radizet? I'm not too sure. Where are you taking us, Dolan? Where are we going? Where are we dropping? Whatever it is, I'm not ready for it. I am not ready for it. And here we go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Radizet Station, we have the French Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing the Platinum Heroes, tying up the series 1-1 that last game. It is DnS. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the American Terran player. He's one of our own. He's representing the CranKy Ducklings. It is Dolan. Here we go. So Radizet Station is known for cutting corners, being hyper greedy, being very economic focused. We have seen a couple of players try to go all in on Radizet Station. The rationale behind that is because everyone is just cutting corners and being hyper greedy and going for like a third Nexus before tag or something crazy like that. You can try to punish that. You can try to gamble and maybe hope and assume that your opponent is cutting too many corners and then go for like a two-base all-in. And it can work. It can sometimes work. We've seen it work against players like Serral. We've seen it work against we've seen like players punch up with it, I should say. That can sometimes get out of control. But we'll see if that's the approach that Dolan takes, because he's going for a double gas opener, which means faster factory. Very interesting here from Dolan. Not going for a Rax expand. Trying to deal with this probe. And is, yeah, going to be a little bit more aggressive here. It is. He's going to be walling that probe in. He's going to be stuck in the main base. Back at home, just a gate expand into a cyber core here from DnS. Just an economic opener. Nothing too out of the norm. There's that factory on the way. Of course, DnS, he already saw the double gas, so he's fully aware that we're going for a delayed expansion. This could lead into a one base all-in. That would be crazy. Not the first time we've seen one base all-ins in this matchup. We've seen it from Gumiho, we've seen it from Oliveira. On a map like Radisson Station, I don't see that working. So we'll see, as the probe is going to be shut down. Probe is going to fall. And Dolan, likewise, is going to be pushing. Behind this should be a CC on the high ground. And yeah, it is going to be a CC. I'm not too sure if I'm fond of this. Again, it is quite difficult to get damage done early on this map. This can be leading into fast like Reaper Hellion, which, again, there isn't a Reaper Cliff coming into the natural. This could lead into a faster starport, into Widowmine drops. There it is. It is going to be Reaper Hellion from Dolan. Oh boy. So, traditionally, if this goes unscattered, the way this works is that we're going to be looking to try to get economic damage done. We're going to try to rush into the natural. The counter to this is if we wall off. If DnS gets a full wall up and running here at the natural base, then there's nothing that Dolan can do. These units won't find a way in. There's no Reaper Cliff coming into the natural or into the third base. So this is very committed and very bold of Dolan. We'll see if he can pull it off. Now, to be fair, DnS doesn't have anything active on the map, so he doesn't see the Hellions and Reapers coming. So there's no tell to actually wall off. He has units in position, but Dolan can run past. He can dive past these two adepts and get into a mineral line. That's going to be the hope. As DnS is arriving with now 3 adepts. Walking down to the low ground, does come across the Hellions. Now we are aware of what's going on. Oof, does pull back. Behind this, getting to our 1-1-1. Cyclone production has commenced. Ooh, going for an add-on swap, actually. Going for a faster Raven. Okay. Now, Dolan, he does retreat with his units. And this does mean that this opener from Dolan wasn't really worth it yet. These Reapers and Hellions haven't gained any value. DnS was in position. He had plenty of units. And Dolan doesn't risk it. So he just has a delayed CC. Meanwhile, the Oracle does dive into the main. Cyclone's in position. Cyclone does force it back. Does, oh my god, get quite a bit of damage done here on the Oracle, actually. Nice damage behind this. DnS working towards his third. Working towards that pocket base. And interesting, it was a Stargate opener, but we're cutting Skytoss units at 2 Phoenixes. Only 2 Phoenixes here for DnS, then going straight into the Robo, Twilight Council, and Forge. Going into a ground-based composition. Only enough Phoenixes for map control, that is it. We're not overcommitting. Hard switching into ground toss. On the other side, Dolan building up his Raven count, getting into additional Cyclones. And that, let's go, is going to be additional factories. This is looking like the 2-base factory all-in that we saw yesterday from Dolan against Hearthstone. This is something that I mentioned leading into this game. I was like, are we going to see a 2-base mech all-in from Dolan on Radisson Station? I'm not in love with it, just because, if you remember, the power of this is that you can threaten the natural or the third, and you can force the Protoss player into a really awkward position. But here on Radisson Station, that is not the case. The third base is safe and sound behind in the pocket base, so DnS is going to be focusing his attention in one location, in one area. We have the scouts. Phoenixes go in, they see the additional factories. Let's go. DnS, he's aware of the mech. Getting right into tank production really early on, so this isn't your traditional form of mech. Just to reiterate, especially if you weren't here yesterday, this isn't like a very slow, methodical, you turtle up and take a third base and take a fourth base and wall off. This is a much more aggressive style. We're going straight into Liberators, tank production, Blue Flame and Widow Mines. We already have our 2 Ravens. We are building up towards a 2-base push, a 2-base all-in. There is no third CC, no third base whatsoever on the horizon. We'll see if we see one thrown down momentarily, but if we don't, again, we're just committed, like hyper committed here. And Immortals are all the way, charge as well, everything anti-mech. Charge lots and Immortals, they have such a powerful, they're just so good. There's a reason why mech isn't really done too often against Protoss. This is just a really strong composition to shut down Cyclones and tanks. And here we go, we're pushing. We're pulling the boys. It is a straight up 2-base all-in, a 2-base mech all-in. This has worked before. This almost killed Harsum last night. It almost killed Harsum. Just Harsum barely was able to hold on. No shot. Okay, we do have Ravens. We should see this. We should... no! Okay, we see it. Stasis Trap is going to be shut down. We have another! And it is spotted. Ravens coming in clutch. We do not get caught by the Stasis. Moving out across the map. We already see DnS on the low ground is spotted by the scan. Dolan has to be very careful with how he engages. Liberators are going to be sieging. Again, boys are pulled to repair, ideally. So far, decent connections here, but we do dive on top of the Ravens. Both Ravens go down. Big pickups here by these Phoenixes, and we dive on top of the tanks. Both tanks go down, the Liberators as well. And you can see how this army of Terran melts. We do get on top of the Archons, though. The Immortals are exposed. Oh, we do have the lift, though. We break the lock-ons. We get on top of the Cyclones. Here come the reinforcements. And this all-in gets completely shut down. It was close. We almost got on top of the Immortals, but the Phoenixes, they came in clutch. GG gets called. And DnS takes the series 2-1. GG. GG, well played. Again, it was a very important moment when DnS scouted, when he was able to confirm those factories immediately. Charge, +1, Immortal production. Everything anti-mech from the Protoss. So very important that he was able to confirm that. Unfortunately, Dolan wasn't able to deny the scout. Otherwise, there would have been a higher chance there that it would have worked. Like against Harsum. Again, Harsum didn't see it in last night's series. Harsum did not see it coming, did not know what was coming across the map. He was caught with his pants down, somewhat down. Then he pulled them back up. It was just barely, just barely. GG, well played. DnS will take it, but a shout out to Dolan again, coming out with some more peculiar and aggressive all-ins here, having some mixed success. Did force the ace match, but unable to take it in the end. Again, this build here, I do think that it has its place. We've seen it work, but Razat Station, just, it feels like there's so much working against you with how greedy the Protoss can be and how defensive or how defendable these bases are as well for the Protoss. So bold move again, bold move. I'm pretty sure Dolan was hoping that DnS was just being too greedy. I mentioned before that 2-base all-ins, we have seen them succeed on Razat Station, just if the opposing player is cutting too many corners and is being too greedy. But DnS was vigilant with his scouting. He was able to get eyes on everything, and with that, he does take it. GG, well played. Whew. And with that, we are halfway through the broadcast. We are halfway through the night, and we can have a look at some of our matches. Here we go. Again, it's been a pretty intense first half here, covering Laser versus Harsum, Cell versus Harsum as well. Really good matches there. I know Cell versus Harsum is 2-0, but if you missed out, I recommend checking out Game 1. Game 1 between those two was beautiful. It was kind of what you want here when it comes to late game PvZ. Did go the distance. Meanwhile, Laser versus Harsum was also very entertaining, very back and forth. Then we had Dolan versus DnS, which was a lot more chaotic and a lot more early game oriented. So if you're one for that, then we got you covered there in that series. Meanwhile, we have our mirror matchups up next. We have Cyril versus Laser, Harsum versus DnS, and Fiant versus Dolan after the break. Again, with this, we are wrapping up with Group A. We're not going to be covering Group B tomorrow. Tomorrow we are casting DreamHack Atlanta. We're going to be covering the open brackets, the open stage. We're going to be back next week with Group B of HomeStory Cup. So, going to be covering Group B next week, and then the week after will be Group C. Then the week after will be Group D. We might like accelerate the schedule if we have some free days, but for the most part, that's kind of the direction that we're taking, just because we are nearing the end of the year and we're nearing the off season where a lot of tournaments are wrapping up for 2023. A lot of tournaments are going on hiatus, especially around the holidays, you know, so people can take breaks and spend time with their families and, you know, just enjoy Christmas as well, or enjoy the holidays. We don't do that here. We cast every day. We casting every day, papi. So we're going to be catching up on HomeStory Cup. For now, though, we are going on a break. Going to be going on a short break here. When we return, we'll have Cyril versus a laser coming at you. Take this moment to hydrate a Hydra, stretch your roaches, massage your marines, drain your disruptors, and we'll be back with that ZVZ. See you soon.